Sing with me if you know this hymn. Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-yay, my oh my, what a wonderful day. Plenty of sunshine heading our way. Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-yay, Mr. Bluebird on my shoulder. It's the truth, it's actual, everything is satisfactual. Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-yay, wonderful feeling, wonderful day. Isn't that a happy song? You know when that came out in 1946. That's when Carol and I were born. 1946. So you can do the math. 12. And it was from a Disney movie called Song of the South. And that's actually one of the, it wasn't the first movie I ever remember seeing, but it was one of the first songs that stuck into my head. And you can still look up on YouTube and see the whole song, and you see this black gentleman with the bluebird on his shoulder. I can't think of his name. And I always thought he was like a preacher or something like here in the South, and I thought he was a preacher. Well, and this once again, this is just a movie, but in the movie he wasn't a preacher. He was either a slave or a former slave. Now, that's not a life that you would think would be a life of joy, right? If you had that. Yet, he's one of my this guy's one of my role models in my life because I was little, I could say. But he was happy regardless of his circumstances. And if you see the movie, it actually did. We have Rick's got a copy, so he showed. I watched it. It's a very. He's probably the hero of the story of the Song of the South because of his attitude. Well, as Christians, we are supposed to have an attitude of joy, right? In fact, we have a song equivalent to Zippity Doo Dah. And you'll sing it with me. And you can sing it with me if you can. This is the day, this is the day that the Lord has made, that the Lord has made. Woo! We will rejoice, we will rejoice and be glad in it, and be glad in it. This is the day that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. This is the day, this is the day that the Lord has made. Give yourself a hand. And once again, isn't that a joyful song? That's a great song to sing when you wake up in the morning. This is the day the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. It doesn't say, this is the day the Lord has made. Only good things are going to happen to me today. Right? Because you don't know what the day is going to bring. Just because we know and love the Lord does not shield us from troubles and problems in our lives. Can I get an amen on that? We still go through difficult times and will continue to go through difficult times. Christ went through difficult times. And so did all the apostles. So we are not promised an easy life. But when we have God in our life, it changes everything.
Right.
Everything, right?
Gives our strength.
Our strength, exactly. And our attitudes are important, are so important. From Ephesians chapter 4, verse 22 to 24. It says, you were taught with regard to your former way of life to put off your old self, which is being corrupted by deceitful desires, and to be made new in the attitude of your minds. Our attitudes are supposed to change. When we know the Lord, our attitudes are supposed to change. I believe we are supposed to live a life of joy. It says in Psalms 40, verse 4, happy is the man who trusts in the Lord and who does not look to the proud or to those who worship false gods. Happy the man who trusts in the Lord. And women too.
I share a voice that the Lord, verse that the Lord led me to. I start every morning with Psalm 139, verses 23 and 24. Search me, O God, and know my heart. Try me and know my thoughts, and see if there be any wicked way in me, and lead me in the way everlasting. He led me to that.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen. That's it. I can't remember that one as quickly as this is the day the Lord has made, but I'll try to incorporate that.
That's a good guidance.
That's a good verse. You know, interestingly, and I just thought of this last night when I was thinking about this message of the attitude of joy that we're supposed to have. I can remember the first time I ever went to a funeral. And, you know, when you're a little kid, you know, so you always see, I got careful how I say this, you only see like your grandparents or great-grandparents or something like that. You go to funerals like that. And I went to a funeral. It was my uncle. My great uncle. I don't think I ever met him, or I don't remember meeting him. And you know, I was old enough to have been, you know, going to school and getting, you know, learning about Jesus. And when we went to the funeral, everyone was sad. And I asked my mom, I said, why is everybody so sad? Isn't he going to go with Jesus now? And I hate to be honest with you, I have no idea what answer I got out of that. Like maybe we'll see, or I don't know, or not that guy, but he wasn't the wire. But the central point of my thinking in life is, as long as I put my faith and trust in Jesus Christ, my future is secure.
Amen.
Right? And I was actually going to end with this, but evidently let's come up now. I want to reinforce more than anything, the most important thing I will ever say in my life to anybody, it's right now. And that's, put your faith and trust in Jesus Christ. And if you do, your future is secure. And no matter what happens to us here on earth, because we're all going to die. So if you think dying is the worst thing that's going to happen to you, realize that when you do, where you're going. We're going to go to see Jesus, yes.
It's called rest and peace.
Yes.
And we will be at peace with you.
Amen. Amen. Boy, I'll remember that. We will be resting in peace. I look forward to the day that I meet Jesus face to face. And my faith becomes my faith will actually be seen when I see Jesus Christ face to face. And that is an exciting thing to think of, not a depressing thing. Now, of course, it's going to be brutal for my kids and my wife when I'm going. Somehow I don't want to be happy. But that's the joy. I mean, that's where we should get our joy. For instance, from Proverbs, because once again, we should have an attitude of joy. Happy heart from Proverbs 15, number 13. These girls read it before, but they won't do it now. A happy heart makes the face cheerful, but heartache crushes the spirit. A happy heart makes the face cheerful. A happy heart. All from 15:15, Proverbs 15:15. All the days of the oppressed are wretched, but a cheerful heart has a continual feast. And the last one, which I always think of, is a cheerful heart is good medicine. A cheerful heart is good medicine, but a crushed spirit dries up the bone. Do you know that? Joy is good for our health. Not many joyful people have ulcers. You get ulcers from worry and depression and things of that nature. But we need to have an attitude of joy. In the book of Jude, and Jude was what's called a half-brother to Jesus. James and Jude were Mary's children after, they were her children, not from the Holy Spirit. And so, but Jude wrote this, and this was within probably 20 to 30 years after Jesus had died and ascended into heaven, and the church was building, and there was a lot of trouble, a lot of disbelief going into the church, and a lot of, really just making bad decisions, people doing bad things. Apostasy, that's the word I was trying to think of. Stopping and believing in Jesus. So Jude wrote this letter to those people who were troublesome in the church. And it's kind of a harsh letter, because he's comparing the loss of faith to Sodom and Gomorrah. In Egypt, when Moses was leading the Israelites out of Egypt, and he had the rebellion of Korah, and they were swallowed up by the earth. And then he talked about the angels, a third of the angels were Satan. They separated themselves from God, were cast into hell. This is like pretty heavy stuff. And they were, oh gosh, this isn't a very happy book. But listen to what I'm going to at least single out. He says, these men are blemishes at your love feast. And the love feast were the communion. Is they're eating with you without the slightest qualm. Shepherds who feed only themselves. They are clouds without rain, meaning useless, blown along by the wind. They are trees without fruit. They are wild waves of the seas, foaming up their shame, wandering stars for whom the darkness has been reserved forever. All sorts of negative things. Can you think of anything more negative? Because as you go down the list, you get to the most negative, and you want to hear what he said. These men are grumblers and fault finders. I think a lot of us could say, I am not a murderer. I'm pretty sure I'm never going to kill somebody. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be an adulterer. I'm pretty sure, da 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 da, and you name all these big sins. And what did Jude single out? Grumblers and fault finders. Isn't it amazing? Because do we grumble? Yeah. Don't raise your hands. Do we find fault in others? Yeah, we do. We have no problem finding fault in others. It's finding the fault in ourselves that we have a difficult time singling out, right? So I'm not trying to make you feel bad here. But if the shoe fits, wear it up. But when you are with a grumbler and a fault finder, is that person signaling out to you an attitude of joy? Just the opposite. So when we want to live our lives with an attitude of joy, we need to watch some of the things we do. Right? We need to, and I think the witness that we give to other people about our faith is first exhibited by our attitude. I don't think you could walk into somebody you don't know and throw a Bible in their face and say, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your understanding." Is that a true statement? Heck yeah, that's a true statement. But is somebody going to be listening to that? No, they're going to be listening. They're going to want to look at us and say, "I want what that person has. I want what that person has." And I think we show that by an attitude of joy. I think we spread our faith more with our joy than we do with any fact that we can give somebody out of Scriptures. So, girls, you want to come up and end this with me? You know how we're going to end it? Okay. You do. Come here, Riley knows. So we want to tell you, come on, Riley. Never mind. We want to tell you to do one thing today, right? You ready? Have a zippity doo dah day. Amen?